Good morning, everybody. I'm hoping that everybody can hear and adequately engaged. I want to certainly begin by wishing those of you who are mothers a happy Mother's Day, but also recognizing that we all have a mother and that we all know something about the joy of being cuddled and held by a mother. It's always a little bit awkward for me each year that I've taught on a Mother's Day, because I know that not everybody is a biological mother. Not everybody wants to be. It's a kind of a vocation in many ways. But all of us have the attributes. If you stop and think about what is it that makes a mother, what are the qualities that we would desire from a good mother? We all have those within us. There's something that a mother brings to us that is in many ways unlike any other relationship, though. I am a father, but I don't try to wrestle with the mom role. That one is not mine. There are times when I wish that I could be as strong as mother. One of my favorite personal memories of my own mother, I've shared this, I suspect, with some of you in the past, but is a time when her last week or so of her life, and I had this extraordinary opportunity to spend that time with her. The roles of parent and child had shifted, and she had become the child, and I got to be a parent to her. And one night she'd gotten ready for bed. She came out, was sitting on the couch, and we were holding hands, and I was simply rubbing her hand. And it was this moment where she looked over to me and she said, "Kevin, you've been a wonderful son." Now, I was really humbled by this, because that's not exactly the way I would have characterized myself. I knew that I had caused my parents numerous occasions of heartache, of disappointment. I'm sure, I'm hopeful that there were many good things too. But I was well aware that I had not been that son that had always brought them great joy. And I let her know that. And she turned to me and she said, with regards to all of those disappointments that I knew that I was harboring, and she said, "Kevin, that's just life." And in those simple words, "Kevin, that's just life," everything that I had perhaps done wrong or had failed at was forgiven. There was the serenity that a mother can bring that I knew at that time, and I've never forgotten that experience of holding my mother's hand, feeling kind of very humbled, and then receiving on top of all of that, that forgiveness of, it's just life. Wonderful perspective she gained there in her last days. With that serenity, I'm reminded also of the lovely poem that is attributed to Reinhold Niebuhr, a Protestant minister. And it's a much longer prayer, but famously the front end of it is known by people in all walks of life. It begins with, "God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference." It's a kind of motherly approach. Let's take that into our practice today with our own bodies to recognize and accept those things within ourselves that we cannot change, but to have the courage to step up, to look ourselves in the mirror of life, and to change those things which we can't, or which we can rather, and then the wisdom to know that difference, because sometimes that in itself is a tremendous task. Feeling this a little dark, if I can put a little bit more light on this before we get going. I don't know if that will help entirely. Well, let's begin with the breath. Remembering that all of us came from the womb. There was that moment in our lives, we don't remember it, but surely when exiting the womb, we took that first breath of life, making that woman a mother. Our breath of life, seizing this wonderful life, grabbing a hold of it, experiencing that breath outside a body for the first time. We can't remember what that was. Somewhere in our body it does. Grab a hold of breath right now, take it down deep, letting the breath sit you up taller. Imagine that perhaps from that exhalation in those first breaths you had, there might have been a whimper, a cry, an unknown as you entered the world. But now, while we live in a kind of unknown time, we can know something about this breath and the gift of life that it is, that we can continue to take it in strong and deep. Drawing the breath in. If you're familiar with the Ujjayi breath, perhaps you begin to employ that so that you can hear that sound of the breath rolling in like the ocean tide. Exiting, rolling back out to the sea. And mother's love that kind of comes up to the shore of our lives every now and then, maybe in a memory, maybe in a touch, in a photograph, kind of laps there upon our beach. And then exhale, perhaps send out some motherly-like love out back towards that mother, but maybe even out towards all of those that are in your life and that you nurture. Drawing breath in with gratitude, exhaling. A couple more. Just deepening the breath, extending it. And then let's draw our arms right out in front of us with the palms facing out, fingers up. Reach over with your right hand, pull back with the left onto the left fingers, pushing out through the base of the left palm. Release that, bend the hand down, pressing out through the wrist, pull that left hand back with the right hand. And then releasing the hand, go ahead and grab the wrist, make a fist with your left hand, and swivel it around with the support. Kind of a motherly support there at the wrist with the right hand. Swiveling that left hand around like a child wanting to get away. And then let it shine and sparkle. Open that hand up. Spread the fingers open wide. Good stretch through the palm of the hand. And then let's take it over to the right. Press out through the right palm. Take the left fingers and pull back on the right fingers. Pushing out through the base of the right hand. Bow the fingers down. Press out through the wrist. Pull the hand back. And then take the left hand, wrap it around the right wrist, make a fist with the right hand. That little child trying to struggle and get away, with a little supportive grip with the left hand. Right hand swivels, and then flash flashes open like a ray of sunshine. Take both of those hands now and let us pull them together as if you've got them lathered up with soap. That might be something you haven't done for a couple of minutes. And then lather them up. And without any towels here, let's just shake them off. Send the arms out to the outside. Lengthen out through your fingertips there, the arms extended out. Then begin to roll your arms, either forward or back, doesn't matter as we begin. Starting to work your shoulders a little bit. And then we'll pause that and take it back, the swing back the other direction. Then pausing the circling arms, swing that left arm across the body, swing the right arm up underneath, and pinching that arm up against your heart or chest, and opening up the shoulder. You might want to reach over with the right hand, grab that left shoulder for a little further either massage or extending that. Then inhale the arms back open again, lengthen out through the fingertips. Exhale the right arm across the body. Fold the left arm up against that, pinching open the right shoulder. Again, the left hand here could offer a little extra assistance. Inhale the arms open again, take them on up now, and let's drop the left hand onto the back, right hand onto the elbow and press down, stretching the tricep. Inhaling up both arms. Lengthen on up. Reach up through the crown. Drop the right hand onto the back. Left hand falls onto the elbow. Stretching the right tricep. Inhale the arms back open. Let's just drop them right back out to the side. And then just swing them around. Give yourself a nice hug. Good little motherly hug there to your own body. Notice which arm you've got on top. Inhale those arms back open again, lengthen out, feel the openness across the heart and chest. Exhale, take the opposite arm on top now as you hug yourself in one more time. Releasing that, go ahead and roll the shoulders. I'm going to invite you to move on to your hands and knees then. If you'd like, you just swing your legs around, or maybe you can roll over the knees here and just come right into a tabletop position. Let's have our toes are going to be curled behind us. And just slip the hips back. We come into a simple puppy dog pose here and let the hips swing from side to side. Nice stretch along the soles of our feet. Inhale, rock forward, lift up the lower part of your legs there. And with the feet dangling, let's take them in circles. About 10 circles in one direction, flexing the toes and the feet as you circle them, and then back the other way. Once you complete your circles, go ahead and drop the toes back down, slip the hips back, walk the hands out a little further, extended puppy dog, and then let's take that into a nice barrel roll. Just start to work the rest of the body into the hips. Push energy over into that right hip, skate it up to the right shoulder, then let the weight hang out over both shoulders momentarily as you guide it back down to the left shoulder and to the left hip, and then just circle it around. Be playful. Remember back at a time when you were working your body up for the first time in your life. Again, not something we remember, but into our hands and knees. At some point here, let's change that circle. Come up the left side and down the right. Just a little playful movement as you once did as a child. Exploring the world here from just our hands and knees. And then we'll pause that. We'll let the hands slide back underneath us here so you come into a tabletop position. Tops of the feet are going to be flat on the mat behind you. And then let's curl the toes. Again, step back with just your left foot behind you. Just press back through that heel. Toes are curled on that foot. And then step back with the right foot and kind of press it. You kind of walk the plank here, soften one knee and press back to the opposite heel, back and forth. And then coming into a plank pose, the knees can be down here if you prefer. Just keep that nice, keep your kind of the ribs knitted towards one another, the core nicely tightened up. Keep the hips elevated just enough to get that activation in the core. And on an inhalation here, holding that, as you exhale, let's start to slip the hips up and settle the heels down momentarily. And when you come to that next inhalation, then just fold right back forward, come back into a plank. We're just going to pump our way up here. Exhale, bring it back up into a downward facing dog. Inhale, rock forward, one more. Back into plank. Exhale, rise back up into your down dog. Now, we're going to settle here for a moment just on this round. If you'd like to pedal the feet there, walk the dog, good chance to do that. Stretch down the backs of the legs. And then let's plant into our left foot. We're going to inhale up that right leg on the next breath. Raise up the right leg, three-legged dog. As you exhale, pull it underneath. Bow the head towards the knee. Bow the knee towards the head. Inhale, rise back up into a three-legged dog. Exhale, bring that knee underneath and through, bowing the head. Going to come up one more time and then come back to a lunge. So inhale the right leg up. On the exhalation, send that right foot forward to the front of your mat. Take a moment here to just check your alignment. Make sure the front knee is over the ankle or behind it. Back foot still pointed forward, pushing back through that back heel. Inhale, let's lift up now the hips, and as you exhale, step off that back left foot, bring it forward, keep your hips back behind you. On the next breath, sweep the arms out, keeping your bottom back, come right up into chair pose. And now just feel the work of the quads start to get active here. Holding the arms out. If that feels too much, you can always bring the hands in. That sometimes works the lower back in ways that it doesn't like. So you can bring the hands into the heart if you prefer here. If the arms are extended on the next breath, let's take them back behind us. Keep that spine as straight as possible. Your gaze is slightly down and out in front. Hands can come behind you. Interlace the fingers there. Inhale with a nice stretch. Feel it across the heart and chest. On the next exhale, now start to push the hips up. Bow the head down and raise the arms up into a yoga mudra. Releasing the bound hands behind you. Let them come back down to the mat. Standing forward fold. Soften the knees a bit here. And let's step that left foot back behind us again. Nice deep lunge. Once you've got that anchored behind you, go ahead and drop the back knee to the mat. Uncurl the toes on that back foot. Let's take the hands right off the mat and rise up. Take a memory of your own mother and let it be a lovely little offering right there into that knee down crescent lunge. Dropping the arms out to the side. Let's take a nice twist here and look out to the left. Opening up. Inhale, bring it back to center. Reach the arms out. Lengthen on out. Pull away from the body with the arms. And then as you open up on the next inhalation, letting the body rise up, bring the arms open and wide. Then exhale, switch it, looking out to the right. Take your right arm across the back. Left arm can fall over here to the outside of the right thigh. And using those two anchor points, you can deepen a twist. Inhale it back to center. And let's bring our hands down to the mat. On the exhalation, rock this front knee back, lift up the front of the foot onto the heel and bow the head towards the knee. If you've got blocks here, don't be afraid to use it. They can be handy tools right alongside the body rather than keeping the hands on the mat. And then pressing that foot down, remembering that we all carry this aspect of a mother's love within us. Bring your palms right there together and drawing like it's you and your mother's hand coming together, and draw it right back into the heart. And then let's let that mother's love rain all around us. Swing the arms up above you. Inhale, lengthening on up, and on the exhalation, a gentle tilt over to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, gently tilt over to the left. Inhale, back to center. Hands swing back down to the mat on the exhalation. Curl the toes on the back foot, lift up the back knee. Slide the front foot back underneath you into plank. If you're needing a little break here, here's the chance. Drop those knees down. Even slip the hips back into child's pose if you prefer. Listen to your body. Do what's right for it. Back into a plank. Knees could be up or down. Let's pulse our way back into that down dog though. So inhale in your plank, keeping that nice tight core. As you exhale, send the hips up. Heels down. Inhale, rock forward, back into plank. Exhale, lift up the hips, downward facing dog. One more, inhale, rock forward. Exhale, settle into your downward facing dog. And now we'll press into the right foot this time. On the inhalation, lifting up nice and high up into the hips. Take that energy up high. And then exhale, let's send that left leg up to the sky. Plant it into your right. Inhale there. As you exhale, bow the head. Draw the knee underneath towards the forehead. Inhale, rise back up. Three-legged dog. Exhale, pull it underneath and through. Inhale, rising up. We're going to step forward this time into lunge. Exhale, pull that left foot forward to the front of your mat. Check the alignment. Front knees over the ankle or behind it. Back foot pointed forward. Inhale, lift up the hips a bit. We're going to step back to chair. So push off the back right foot. Step forward. Bottom is back behind you. Weights in the heels in the bottom. Sweep the arms. Scoop the arms up. Again, if you prefer to have them in tight, that is fine too. Just do what's right for your body. You could lift it up a little bit higher. Keep that bottom, the weight pressed back. If you look down, you should be able to see your toes. Maybe even feel like the toes are ready to lift off the mat. Inhale, open up the arms. Now sweep them all the way around to the back side. Interlace the fingers. Stretch the arms back. Nice opening across the heart and chest. Inhaling there, then shift the hips up. Bow the head on the exhalation. Into a yoga mudra. Pull those arms up a little higher. Releasing the bound hands. Let them come back down to the mat to a standing forward fold. And then softening the knees, we're going to step the right leg back behind us again into a lunge. Drop the back knee. Come down to a knee down lunge here. Uncurl the back toes. Scoop the hands off the mat and lift up. Lovely little knee down crescent lunge. Dropping the arms out to the outside. Gazes straight forward. Inhale air, reaching out through the fingertips. And exhale, look out to the right, to the open side. Maybe try to even look down that right arm. Inhale, back to center. Reach the arms out, lengthen. Like someone's got a hold of your hands. Mother's pulling you up from the floor, reaching. And then we'll inhale, the arms back open again. Lifting the body up, exhale, the twist over to the left. Take the right hand out to the outside of the left thigh. Left hand can circle to the back, over towards the right hip. Using those anchor points, deepen your twist. Inhale, the arms back open again. Swivel the body forward, and we'll drop the hands right down onto the mat. Rock back onto the heel. Bow the head towards the knee. Pressing the foot back down onto the mat, palms can come together, taking that mother's hand into yours and circle the two hands back to the heart of love. Right there. Plant your own motherly instincts, male or female, right there into the heart as you've known it. And then inhale the arms back up again. This time maybe interlace the fingers and let just the index fingers be pointed up. If you feel all right with it, very carefully. I know it doesn't look like it's that challenging, but if you make little circles with your fingers pointing towards the sky, you're going to find a little bit of uneasiness there. A couple of 2, 4 circles in one direction and then back the other way. Completing your circles, let's bring the hands back down to the mat. Curl the toes on the back right foot, lift up the knee. Then I'm going to invite you to just rotate your feet so we're looking towards the short end of the mat. But just rotate your feet now so that they're along the long edge of the mat here in a nice wide leg forward fold pose. Hands can be right underneath the shoulders, a little bit more of a neutral spine, or you can let your body hang down. Take a block and see if you can just bring yourself, your forehead onto that mat, whatever. Just get a nice opening, good stretch here. And planting those hands underneath your shoulders so you can kind of come up to a neutral spine position. Again, if you've got blocks here, that makes that a lot more easy. And then we're going to lift the arms out. Press out through the tailbone, reach out through the crown, and then pushing your hips forward, stand right on up, but drop the arms, swing them around behind you. And let's just take another yoga mudra, but now with a wide leg pose. So with our legs opened up nice and wide here. Now start to bow forward, keep the spine straight, push the hips back. Let the bottom do and the hip work, do the work. Bowing the head, arms springing up. And just come to whatever level of this is right for your body. If you've got heart issues, you shouldn't really be putting that head down below the heart. So just to be careful and be aware of what's right for your body. Then we'll press the arms back towards the sacrum, lifts the body up, release the bound hands. Let's bring them up, and then take your left foot and point it straight down the mat. Now the back foot might be at a 90-degree angle, right in alignment with that front heel. If you need to take it out a little wider, that's okay. But with the arms extended up, looking down that left leg now, fold down into a head to knee pose. Once you're down here, then go ahead and rotate that back foot so it's pointed a little bit more forward. We'll inhale, rise back up. Exhale, sweep the arms alongside the body. Now taking a nice deep inhalation here, sweep those arms, let's push off the right foot, see if we can bring ourselves right up into a mountain pose. Stepping off of that back foot, coming forward into your mountain. Now pressing down into the left foot. We raise up the right leg, put the energy into this left leg. Raise up the right leg into a stork. And you can take your right hand to the inner right thigh and gently start to open that up. Draw it back to center. Find a drishti, a point of attention. Just keep your gaze fixed on one thing right there in front of you. Then the left hand can come over to the outside of the right thigh. The right arm can now extend out to the side. And then swivel that right arm behind you, and if possible, maybe turn your gaze back towards the right hand. Of course, we lose our focus on this point. So it's that challenge. Inhale, bring it back to center. And on the exhalation, thrust that right leg right back behind you. As it comes back, you can allow yourself to turn that heel in. It's going to give you a better foundation. If you can do that, maybe then rotate the back foot so it's pointed forward so you're in a full high lunge here. If you feel uncomfortable with it, turn the back heel in and down, or even drop the back knee to the mat. It's all fine. Listen to your body, do what's right for it. But let's take this right back up into a crescent. Now from a higher point. We were in a knee down crescent earlier. Maybe you're able to keep that knee up this time. Lift up the body and the spirit here. As you bring your arms forward, if you've got a block, you may want to set that block right out here in front and to the outside edge of this front left foot, about 8 to 10 inches. So as you bring your arms down, push off of the back foot, anchor onto this left foot, but the left hand can have some support on a block or on the floor, whichever you prefer, and then try to draw the right arm up to the sky into a half moon pose, a balancing half moon. Gaze can go out to the right. Inhale, we'll draw that right arm back down. And as you do, now with both hands down, slowly let that back leg come back down. Do that very carefully. Once it's down, let the toes be pointed out, heels in. It might be the heels are in alignment with the front, or both heels are in alignment with each other. See if you can take the right hand, again, you might want to block here, right inside that foot, and take the left hand and slowly start to draw this front left knee in. So we can take it to a revolved triangle, and then take the left arm up. If possible, turn the gaze to the upper left hand. Ideally, the left knee is locked in, the back heel is down, but listening to your body, it might need to have a little adjustment. Swing that upper left hand back down to the mat. Rotate now the back foot so it's pointed forward, and drop the back knee to the mat. Lift up the body, take that left foot and step it right out here to the side. So we can come to a half circle pose. We'll take the arms open. On the half circle, ideally if you can get this foot to settle down, toes up, toes down. If you can do that, great. Sometimes it's going to need to have the toes up. Keep pressing down. Reach the arms out. Again, a block, in this case, is kind of handy over here on the outside of this right knee. So if we take the arms and just start to slowly lower our body, turn that gaze to the upper hand. And maybe that right hand will touch down on a block or on the earth. Looking up. Now take the left arm and circle it right over the ear so you come into a full half circle pose. See that half circle stretching from the tips of your toes up that leg, through the side body, and right on out through the fingertips. Your gaze can be towards the upper arm folded over your head. Inhale, let's lift up the body again. Rise right back up. And then we can take the hands back down here to the mat. Let's scoop that left foot back forward onto the mat again. And then lift up the back knee and press forward into a standing forward fold. Inhale, we'll rise up. Let the palms meet up overhead. Exhale, dropping down into the heart. Inhaling here, on the exhalation, let's step the left foot back behind us this time. Send the arms up. Inhale here, on the exhalation, fold into head to knee from your pyramid. Allow the body to soften, release and relax here. Front knee ideally is locked in, but if it needs to reach up and greet that descending head, it's like the mother's kiss coming down towards you there in the crib, and your own body reaching up to greet it. Inhale, we'll rise up. Exhale, swing the arms alongside the body, coming back down. Now with a little energy, push off of that back foot. Bring yourself up on the inhalation, right into your mountain pose. And now let's start to work the other side. So we're going to put our emphasis of energy here into this right leg. Find your drishti, your point of attention. Lift up the left leg. Take the left hand onto the knee and maybe try with your gaze fixed very intently on one spot. Try to open up the hip and groin here as you swivel that left leg out to the side. Then drawing it forward again, take the right hand over to the outside edge of this left thigh, and the left arm can extend out. Inhaling here as you exhale, slow rotation, looking back, turning the gaze to the back hand. Inhale it back forward again. Hands can come back to the heart, and then thrust that left leg back behind you. Once again, as you do that, you may want to keep the toes, rotate that heel in, toes out, or if you can stay up into a higher lunge with the knee up, toes pointed forward, or you can also drop that back knee to the mat. Scoop the arms alongside the body. With gratitude, remember that breath. Exhale, send out a breath of gratitude. Good deep inhalation there. Excuse me. On the exhalation, bring the body forward. Block might now be on the outside of this front right foot. Lean into that. Lift up the back left leg. If your body's doing all right with it, circle now the left arm up to the sky, turning the gaze, the foot and the hip open to the left, and do the balancing half moon pose. Now you can always keep that back leg on the mat. Don't feel like you've got to come into the balancing aspect of this on the one leg. Swinging the arm back down very gently and carefully. Slowly lower the back left leg. Let's turn that heel in, toes out. Block could now come to the inside of this right foot. Try to tuck the right knee in as best you can and circle the right arm up to the sky into a revolved triangle. Circle the arm back behind you. Go ahead, turn that back foot so it's pointed forward. Drop the knee to the mat. And now let's take the right leg and step it out to the side. Block it, come alongside this left knee if you prefer. Reach the arms out. As you see, I'm trying to get this foot to settle down. So there might be a little bend in the knee, that's fine. Opening up, slowly start to descend. Watch that right arm rise up. Left hand can touch down onto a block, or maybe it reaches to the floor. And then on the next exhalation, take it right over the ear and extend on out into a full half moon extension. Not half moon, half circle. Inhale, let's lift the body back up. And then we'll take the right foot, step it forward onto the mat. Hands back to the mat as well. Curl the toes, lift up the back knee, and press off of that back foot so you can step it forward into a standing forward fold. And let's just hang out here for a moment. The knees can be soft. They do not have to be hyperextended. Let them be what they need to be. And then let's rise up with an inhalation. Pushing the hips forward as the arms spring up in reverse swan dive. Palms meet and exhale to the heart. All right, I'd like to take us through one more little flow today. It's a bit of a challenge and it's intended to be that. It's just taking that Serenity prayer that I offered there at the beginning as a little bit of our opening reflection, and using that to move through this next flow. So we started our mountain pose, and in our mountain pose, if you are a person of faith, we refer to that awareness of something greater than ourselves as God, maybe for me, the great mystery, the divine, this universe of things. You just stand right here in it. It in you, you in it. And let it begin here. Nice deep inhalation. As you exhale, let's lift up that left leg and thrust it back behind you. Turn the heel in, the toes out. We're going to set up for warrior one. So, grant me. Lift up the arms like a plea. Push back. Extend down this back left leg. Push into the outside edge of that. Feel the inner thigh open up. Reach out. Grant me. And then dropping the arms out to the side. The gaze is straight forward. Swivel the hips open by rotating that right arm over the right leg. Coming into warrior two. Grant me the serenity. And find serenity here in your warrior two pose. Lengthen out through the arms. Feel strong and firm in this foundation. Even when the tides of change and frustration and anxiety come along, find within you that place of serenity. And then moving the arms forward again as if to accept. To accept the things. And then we'll reach the arms out in front of us, push off of that back foot, and if possible, we'll just draw ourselves right up into a warrior three to accept the things I cannot change. And find balance there in embracing what I cannot change. Inhale, draw the arms up, pull that back foot right back into place. You're back into an extended mountain pose. And then we can ask for the courage. Press into the toes and the balls of the feet and lift up into a palm tree. So you're balancing on the toes and the balls of the feet. Give me the courage and then the palms together, the strength here. And then slowly let the hands come down. We're still on the toes and the balls of the feet. Bend the knees, slowly descend. And then you can bring your hands down to the mat. So as we look for this courage, lift up the hips. Drop the left leg back behind you again now. Thrust it back. And then we'll lift up the body and look for a courage to change with the hands at the heart. Rotate the left elbow over towards the right knee and sink it onto the right side. Courage to change the things I can. And that might mean a little bit of a twist and a little different view. Inhale, back to center again. Hands can come back to the mat. And then we look for the wisdom. Let's raise the arms back up. So from warrior one, we were asking, grant us. Now we're seeking out wisdom. A little deeper challenge on that lunge. Pressing back to the extended back heel. Let the hips sink down. Inhaling there. As you exhale, let's bring the arms alongside the body. And when you exhale this time, push off of that back foot. Try to thrust yourself right on up and pull that left foot right onto the calf so you come right into a tree pose. And the wisdom to know. Then let that wisdom grow up and unfold to know the difference, the two sides. Things I can change, things I cannot. We live in a world like that right now. There's an awful lot of things we cannot change. Can we know the wisdom to know the difference? Drawing the arms back up, sinking them into the heart. Settle that foot back down. Let's let the hands come back to the side here. Come back to a simple mountain pose. Remembering, we are supported with motherly love by many around us, from afar perhaps, from a memory, from the earth's energy rising up and supporting you beneath, from something greater than ourselves all around us. And so we come back to that. Again, however you know that greatness beyond yourself, hold it there into your heart. Take an inhalation here, and as you exhale, lift up the right leg, step it back behind you, turn the heel in, toes out, bend into the front knee, it's over the ankle or behind it. Grant us, lift up the arms like a plea, push out, down through that back leg. energy into the front knee and shin. Grant us. Dropping the arms out to the side. Swivel the hips open into warrior two. The serenity. And find serenity here. Try to let the palms rest down. Let the shoulders be soft on the back. We can reach out and feel firm and strong in our foundation, but let it be serene. And then drawing that back open to accept, once again, to accept the things. Arms extend forward, push off of the back foot, anchor into that front left foot, maybe raise up the back right leg, extend out, and find a balance there in embracing and accepting with serenity the things I cannot change. Lift the arms up, draw the back leg right in beside and into extended mountain. And then pressing into the toes, lift up onto the balls of the feet, into the palm tree, and now we seek the courage. Palms together, sink them right down through the face, to the heart. Bend the knees softly and slowly lower, trying to maintain that balance. The courage. Hands to the mat. Inhale here. Exhale, lift up the hips. Standing forward fold, and then step the right leg back behind you. Courage to change. Stepping back, stepping forward. Hands together, draw them up to the heart. To change those things. And now rotate the right elbow over towards the left knee and fold it in. Those things which I can change. Inhale, back to center. Scoop the hands alongside. Seek wisdom and send that up as you wish. The wisdom then. Drawing the arms back down, we're going to push off of that back foot. Try to bring it right forward up towards the tree. Drawing it up. You can settle the hands into the heart to begin with. Draw that right foot onto the calf or to the thigh or to the ankle or just down on the floor is fine. And that wisdom to know, let the arms rise up and let them unfold. To know the difference between what I can change and what I cannot. Inhale back up. Exhale, sink the hands back into the heart. Rotate that foot back down onto the mat. Inhale, lift up the arms. Exhale, push the bottom back and come down into a forward fold. Inhale, rise up to neutral spine. Pause here, press back to the tail, reach out through the crown like you're just humbly laying that prayer right there. And then exhale, fold forward again. Let's soften the knees here. Slowly bend the legs. Walk the bottom back behind you and come into a seated position. And then with your feet anchored on the mat, both feet are down, hands to the heart. Let's take a nice inhalation here, and as you exhale, press out through the left heel. Inhale, bring it in, sit up tall and step back down on it. Inhale, lift up that right leg and press it back out. Exhale there. Inhale, bring it in, sit back up. Lift the front of your feet off, the heels are still down. Then slowly lift the heels off. Try to find a little bit of balance here. Legs are tight. You do not have to extend the legs out. Do that as your body feels all right with it. If it's feeling okay, let's open up the arms. And again, a lovely little embrace into that serenity. But notice that the serenity isn't just a quieting down of everything. We are all locked in the kind of tumult of life and every day. And it's finding balance in that. So the legs can be in, they can be extended out, the arms can raise up higher. Do with it what you can. But then slowly allow yourself to kind of give into it. Letting the weight of things bring you down, and know that right underneath you here is your Mother Earth, your mother, the hands of love beneath you, supporting you as you touch down onto that mat with a nice big ah. and allowing your body just to be laid out into your mother's arms. As we hit the mat here, we of course are readying ourselves for Shavasana. There may be still something else in your body that needs a little bit more attention before you go into that full serenity of Shavasana. So take care of whatever it is that you need to do, and then when you're ready, stretch the legs down the mat, arms alongside the body, palms preferably facing up. And we'll come into that last pose of Shavasana. Our poem today comes from the farmer poet Wendell Berry. The poem is called To My Mother. Sometimes I think he wrote this poem for me. I was your rebellious son. Do you remember? Sometimes I wonder if you do remember. So complete has your forgiveness been. So complete has your forgiveness been, I wonder sometimes if it did not precede my wrong, and I erred, safe found, within your love, prepared ahead of me, the way home, or my bed at night, so that almost I should forgive you, who perhaps foresaw the worst that I might do, and forgave before I could act, causing me to smile now, looking back, to see how paltry was my worst compared to your forgiveness of it already given. And this, then, is the vision of heaven of which we have heard, where those who love each other have forgiven each other, where for that the leaves are green, the light a music in the air, and all is unentangled, and all is undismayed. I invite you to wiggle the fingers and toes. Gentle movements. little fetal stirrings in the womb, out at the wrists and ankles, through the arms and legs, coursing their way up to the center of your life right there in the pool of your being. When you're ready, slide the legs up the mat, the knees pointing towards the sky. Maybe they want to sway, maybe they just want to be serenely calm and still. And then shifting your hips a little bit to the left. Let your body roll over onto its right side in the comfort of a fetal position. And then pressing out through that top leg, pushing off the top arm. Bring your body up to a seated position. Maybe you want to slide something underneath your bum. Bring yourself up to that seated position and allow your gaze to be lowered or your eyes even closed. Just to sit, perhaps, in the warmth of a mother's gaze. And coming back to my story once again, 2 hands, a child.